I have 3 southeastern stations left in London I've not used because I've been saving them for when I do a walk. Well, today I'm doing one such walk, starting at Welling Station. Our first stop today is the intriguingly named Shoulder of Mutton Green, where I've heard that a former air raid shelter entrance can be seen beside the bus stop here. I couldn't exactly make anything out by the bus stop, but there does seem to be little dips in the land here in the green, which may suggest something related to it. Just peeking my head into Hillview Cemetery as I pass by. It's relatively small, just has the one entrance. I'm just going to loop around this quickly because it's nice enough to walk through. So what we're really going to be focusing on today is the Green Chain Walk. As the name suggests, it's a path in southeast London that literally links a bunch of green spaces together. And our first one here is East Wickham Open Space. So a lot of the Green Chain Walk does follow the Capital Ring, an orbital path around London, which I have walked before. And I never walked the Green Chain Walk afterwards because a lot of it was the same, and I would just end up visiting a lot of the places it goes to on my own walks that I came up with. Like today, I'm not intending to walk a section of the Green Chain Walk, but a lot of the places I'm going to will be on the long distance footpath, like here in East Wickham Open Space, which is lovely, by the way. I do think I crossed over East Wickham Open Space once before. Don't have too much of a recollection of it. At least I got to see more parts of it today. I do believe it was also an old landfill site. I much prefer what it is now. Wow, what a great view on the other side of the open space towards Bostall Woods over there. The Green Chain Walk does pass through that to reach Thamesmead. We're not going over there today though. I noticed that there's a Plumstead cemetery on the corner of Bostall Woods. I didn't know this was here, so I thought again I would just peek my head in quickly. I just spotted a road sign for Woodbrook Road, which made me think whether there was a brook in the area that I didn't know about. But then I spotted on the map a Wog Born, which I don't know if maybe is like an old name for the Woodbrook, but there is indeed a little river here running towards Bostall Woods. I've come into William Barefoot Gardens, which has a long twisty path all the way up a hill to a locked gate into Woolwich Cemetery. I did know that it would be locked, to be honest, which is pertinent because William Barefoot himself was a former mayor of the borough of Woolwich, the old borough. Just realised I went all the way up there just to film that clip and then come all the way back down again. So I'm having to go around the cemetery through another gardens with a steep path. This one is Rockcliffe Gardens. The land here used to be a former brickworks, and I thought that it was going to be a little tucked away spot that not many people knew about, but it's actually quite popular at the moment. I'm surprised. A lot of locals seem to be hanging out here. So here's the other side of Woolwich Cemetery. There seems to be quite a few in the area because I've just headed south through the gardens and I'm changing to head directly north now through Woolwich's old cemetery. 2 parakeets just rushed past my head. I wish I started recording in time. I'm in the old cemetery now, which opened in 1856, and despite the fact the other cemetery seems to be the new one, that is still very old as well, opening in 1885. So because I've essentially looped around, I've done the same thing of heading up a hill and then down one through the cemetery, but immediately opposite I have another steep climb up into Winds Common now. Oh my god, no, it really is steep. That goes on and on and on. Spring really is here now, by the way. I've got another glorious summer's day and it is quite warm having to walk up all these stairs. Bleak Hill is what I've climbed. We are back with the Green Chain Walk now. You can see it heading towards Bostall Woods in that direction. Seems to be a Roman barrow up here. That's intriguing. This is great to walk across. I've just noticed a little mound over there and I'm wondering if maybe that is the Roman Barrow, or whether it's kind of this land that I'm currently passing through here. Oh wow, someone's made like a full-on tree house up there. Did they climb a tree to make that? That's quite impressive. Seems to keep heading up and down on this walk. There's a deep ravine here now, which I guess is the crossing point between Winds Common and Plumstead Common. And almost immediately as I come down, I'm about to head all the way back up again. This feels like a real place you can have an adventure around discovering. I really quite like it, to be fair, even though there's loads of stairs. There's a lot of commons in South London, but I've always thought this one is perhaps one people don't really know about as much as the others. Perhaps that makes it a little bit underrated, especially as it's not as expansive as the others. But a lot of the land was sold off to build houses for the workforces for the Royal Arsenal, which is nearby. There's even a great old mill building up here, which has now been turned into a pub. Place to hang out if you're going to come and visit Plumstead Common. Now, when I visited Plumstead Common before, the one time only, about 4 years ago, I saw the green chain walk pointing to a place called Shrewsbury Park, which I hadn't heard of before. So I've always kept it in the back of my mind to maybe visit one day, and now I have. It's another long climb up, but you get rewarded with a great view of Crossness Pumping Station down there, which we were walking alongside only last week beside the River Thames. You can even spot the moon up there. Can you make it out? The pillars of the Dartford crossing is visible as well between the gap in the trees over there. I'm really glad I've come and finally visited Shrewsbury Park. This is great. There's an unexpected little discovery here now that I've left Shrewsbury Park. A Bronze Age tumulus. Can see the mound of it here. Apparently there was a series of 6 of them, but all the others have been lost due to the redevelopment of this area. It shouldn't have been surprising to me really that there's been a lot of up and downs on today's walk, because I'm around Shooters Hill, which is regarded as being one of the highest points in all of London. And you get a great view looking towards the city here in Occupation Lane. Bit hazy, despite the fact it's a really nice blue sunny day. Eaglesfield Park is the summit of Shooters Hill, the second highest point in London. I believe the actual highest is Whitestone Pond in Highgate. I would love if there's a trig point or something in here to mark the very top, the very summit of Shooters Hill. There doesn't seem to be, but this is great nonetheless. I've not been here before. I've only really focused on the Capital Ring when walking through this area, so getting to discover new parts of London today via the Green Chain Walk is great. I did not know that this presumably old water tower was here. I turned to my right a moment ago and was quite shocked. I had no idea about it. Speaking of the Capital Ring, I have actually come across the first section of it now here in Oxley's Woods, where there's a little cafe, beautiful hangout spot, especially on a summer's day, with a great view overlooking the meadow. This is a really popular spot. I distinctly remember it from doing the Capital Ring. I said summer in the last clip. I meant sunny. It's not summer yet, even though it feels like it. I feel like I'm going to have to start bringing sun cream out with me. Anyways, I'm going to sit here on the meadow now and have lunch, the sandwich in my bag. But just before I do, I actually want to talk about the Capital Ring. Because what I tend to do is an anniversary walk on or around the day every year when I started both the London Loop and Capital Ring a year apart. And last year's walk, which is on video, I'll leave a link to it in the description below, I did the majority of section 1 of the Capital Ring up to where it starts at Woolwich. But what I did when I got to Eltham Palace, which is on the route, is I came off of it and did a more direct route through the centre of Eltham itself to rejoin it up at the brilliantly named Seven Droog Castle, instead of coming around these parts. So what I'm going to do now that the Green Chain Walk and Capital Ring have combined, I did say that they share paths throughout, is basically do that section of Capital Ring that I missed out on that walk. And I do have an idea of what the anniversary walk will be this year. Admittedly, it's after summer at the end of September, so there's a bit of a wait for it. But if I do it, it will be one of the other 2 walks which start at a remaining southeastern station in London. So I've set off on my walk again now through Oxley's Wood after lunch, and I noticed on the map the Wog Born again. Apparently, the source of it is here in Oxley's Wood. I believe this is the course of it here, but it's such a tiny little stream. I mean, there's no water here at all. You could very easily miss this. But I do believe this is one of perhaps a few sources around here in Oxley's Woods for the Wog Born. I just find it funny that I had never heard of this river before today. It was almost a chance encounter with it earlier on. And now here I am hunting for the source of it here in these woods. I've done a little bit of research and I found out that it does also have the name of Plumstead River. It's about 8 kilometres long and it does run into the Thames in Thamesmead. Looks like this may be the course of the Wog Born here. It's like a lost river that's above ground. There's just no water here at all. Wow, there's definitely more of a culvert of it at this stage, but there's still no water down there. And we're coming out of Oxley's Wood now. We're coming away from the stream, so we won't get to see it again as I head into Falconwood Field. Oh, never mind. At the junction of footpaths, just as I start to make my way out of Oxley's Wood, the stream passed underground, and on the other side there is a little bit of water down there. Oh, I was worried here for a second that Falconwood Field was closed for construction, but luckily it isn't. I can cut right across. So I've come out beside Falconwood Station now, which is the end of the first section of Capitol Ring. But I didn't end here when I did that walk. I instead squeezed in section 2 down to Grove Park as well. I have since used this station though. I started a walk here a couple of years ago that ran up to Bexley Heath, and I am ending my walk here today. But not yet. We've missed out Elton Park on the Capitol Ring, so I'm going to go and visit that, loop back around, and then we'll end the walk here. I just love how much green space there is around these parts of southeast London. It's been delightful today to walk through the woods and come out onto meadows like this in the sun. It's been really, really nice. As I've said when I did the Capitol Ring anniversary walk, it is maybe my favourite little quadrant of London to do walks around. Now on the anniversary walk we passed by Eltham Station. You can just about see the platforms up there, which opened in 1985, replacing 2 stations on either side of it, Eltham Well Hall and Eltham Park itself. The main road which runs beside the railway line here has obliterated all remains of Eltham Well Hall station, but you can still see the former entrance into Eltham Park station here. Statio Parade. And now I begin my loop back around to Falconwood Station by passing through Eltham Park South. The park is split between north and south because of the main road. I can actually spot the old water tower up there. Crossing back over to the north side now, into the woods for the final stretch along the railway to Falconwood Station. The air feels very fresh around here because of all the trees and whatnot, even though the main road is just over there. And that reminds me of my last walk through the Rotherhithe Tunnel. I much prefer what I'm inhaling here than I was in that tunnel. This is such a nice way to end the walk. It's been such a pleasant evening stroll. And we're back by the station. What a fantastic southeast London walk that was. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully, with spring now here and the weather getting better, that should mean that we will start to do more rural adventures soon. Hopefully some even leaving London. So stay tuned for that, subscribe if you don't want to miss them. Thank you for watching.
shortly be arriving at Elton. This is a Windrush Line train to Battersea Park. The next station is Surrey Quay.
So I was tempted to catch this train to Battersea Park, as because of engineering works the Windrush Line is not running to Clapham Junction today. It's a very rare service that usually only runs once in the morning, twice in the evening, something like that. But I decided to stick to heading to my walk today, so I need to head to New Cross and catch a South Eastern service to Welling.